Hello, I'm Tom Fisher, and I'm the town manager for the town of Frisco, and we're recapping the May 14th council meeting. One of the first things that we've done, and we've done it over a couple of meetings, since we have two new council members, Dan Kibbe and Martin Allen, and as a refresher to our council members who are great members of our community but very part-time in their role as a council member, is to provide training on things that if they don't keep track of these things in their business as a council member, that they can get the town in trouble, they can get themselves in trouble, and of course we want to avoid that. We want them to be able to do their job without having to worry about any kind of liability. Our town attorney and a representative from our insurance provider, the director named Tammy Tanu, came in and provided some of that training. There's a concept called quasi-judicial decision-making, and essentially what that is councils sit in a legislative function when they're creating laws or ordinances or code, and then they also judge things. And that's what quasi-judicial decision-making is. They heard a long explanation of that, and were able to ask questions about what limits are put on them when they're under their quasi-judicial role. So that was covered. We also covered open meetings law and what that means and how that affects what they do on email and what they do on social media, what they do on text. And essentially that means that they can't back into a meeting by accidentally including two other members of their council on an email and having a discussion about town business. We want to avoid them doing things like that or meeting out in the public and talking business without a meeting being noticed and the public being available to ask questions or contribute to those discussions. They also got some warnings about activity as council members and public officials on social media, and then kind of their role within the town structure, where the town attorney and the town manager, myself, are the town council's employees. Everybody else that works for the town council works for the town manager, and so that's how we kind of separate out those roles so that your elected officials are not down into the minutia of the functioning of town government. Another thing they covered in work session is a new housing needs assessment that's going to be specific for the town of Frisco. It's looking out strategically about what Frisco needs over the next several years in housing in order to support workforce and affordability within our town. It's going to be very Frisco specific. If you've heard about the county-wide housing needs assessment, it's very general to the county. It does have a little bit about Frisco. We're going to get much more deep into the needs of specifically Frisco, and then how we apply housing funds that we collect specifically for workforce and affordable housing in order to meet those needs in the future. The council wanted something that's very actionable, as well as something that describes or models what the economic impact would be if this housing is achieved. Just as an aside, the consultants that we're working with on that plan wanted to get some specific answers about where would we consider putting affordable housing in the town. One of the things that they eliminated right off the bat was our open spaces and parks. So that's direction that the consultant and our staff are going to move forward with in order to complete that plan. And you'll be hearing more about that and ways to participate. We have an Arts and Culture Council, and they have several members, but two were reappointed at this meeting. Allison Lindsay and Diane Hardy-Schleifer were reappointed. They were serving a one-year term in order to provide some staggering of those appointments, and now they will serve a 3-year term. We are working on electrifying our town-owned facilities, and the council codified through resolution that concept so that now we follow it officially. We've been doing this for several years. and have put a plan in place with Xcel Energy in order to forward that concept. Our Granite Park affordable housing project with CDOT is all electric. Old Town Hall is going to be remodeled this year, and it's going to be converted to all electric. Slopeside Hall at the PRA is being built all electric, and the landing building at the marina was built all electric, as well as producing electricity with solar panels on the roof. So already doing this with our town facilities. We just codified it so that it's in our policies for the future. That's a recap of what we covered, or what the council covered in their meeting on the 14th. If you want to participate with our council on any topic, our council meetings are the second and fourth Tuesday of the month, and a public comment period is always at 7 p.m. So please come and participate. You can also email the council at council@townoffrisco.com, or visit us on our website at friscogov.com in order to interact with us on any subject, specifically to know what the town is doing.